are going to start off a little different than what they normally do at an installation dinner, and primarily because for the last 5 years, everybody has known Steele. Tonight, a lot of you, a little bit about me, but you may not know everything about me. So what I'm going to try and do before we get into the festivities of the evening, I am going to give you, in 10 minutes or less, a history of Steve Parrott. So, all right. What's that, Steve? All right. So let me start off here. Why am I here? Where we're going? All right. I'm here because I absolutely love the boat club. I mean, I think I'm here every single day and love the boat club. Where we're going, you'll find out later, because all I'm glad is that I'm part of where we're going, and I'm glad that all of you are here and being part of where we're going. Before we jump into me, there's a couple of things I want to do. First of all, I have to have special thanks to some people. The first one, all the volunteers. So there's going to be lots of thanks later, but this room got decorated today. They did an awesome job. We're going to celebrate them later, but that's just one example of the volunteers at this club. This club runs on volunteers, so thank you very, very much. Second group I want to thank is the staff, right? They're always taking care of us, listening to us, being our... So thank you, the bar, the galley, thank you all very, very much. Next, previous boards, and I'm honored looking at this wall here past Commodores. It's quite intimidating, actually, to think that there's this much of a legacy here. We have some of them here tonight. We'll honor them in a little bit, but I do want to thank all of them. I also want to thank the board I was on last year as a board member, and certainly want to welcome the new board this year, which we'll get into. And another thanks I want to do, because I would not be standing here if it wasn't for this guy. And he approached me last year. Well, first of all, he was the first person I met here. He brought me in. And then over this past year, we've worked closely together. And I think we formed a good relationship. And he's given me tons of tips, tons of ideas. And he's been super, super graceful and gracious in this transition. This mic keeps cutting out. Gracious in this transition. So thank you, Steele. More later, but thank you. So when Steele asked me to consider doing this, the first question he asked was, is Marcia going to be okay with this? So that was my first thing. So all of this and everything I do and everything I am is because of Marcia. So thank you. I love you. Now, for those of you that don't understand my accent, I'm from this little tiny island in the North Atlantic called Newfoundland. That's where I'm from. It's a beautiful place to go, but it's a long, long way to go. So anyway, that's where I'm from. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's a mighty... Can I get a different mic?
Okay. No, it's fresh batteries. Fresh batteries.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about where I'm from, because it'll probably explain a lot about me. So first of all, it is the most easterly city in North America. Why is that shaking? Went on? Yeah, wow. All right, so this is where I grew up. It's a beautiful little place, most easterly point. They're also named two dog breeds from where I'm from, the Newfoundland dog and the Labrador dog. Yeah, so we only have 500,000 people live there, but we have two dog breeds. We're also known as Iceberg Alley. We get about 10,000 icebergs every year floating down through the Arctic, and they all just land there. One of my proudest moments as being from somebody from Newfoundland was we went to a Broadway show called Come From Away. And it's the story of 9/11 when all the planes landed in Gander, and how the people of Newfoundland took in over 7,000 people for about 10 days in a town of about 3,000 people. And that just tells you about the type of people that are there. And then we get a little bit of snow there. So part of the snow that we get is you have to remember where your car was parked, and then you take a broomstick and you go poking in the snow until you find it, and then you got to dig it out. And that's what the roads look like. So yeah, we get some snow. And then growing up, what did I do? I got my first Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. I'm still a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I was a cowboy in a skating thing. I used to drive a motorcycle. That's my sister sitting on the front. I don't know if you call it a motorcycle. And believe it or not, we used to water ski. So that's what life was like growing up. Fortunately, my parents were both educators and they had the summer off. So thank God we could leave Newfoundland every single summer and get away. My objective in my entire life in Newfoundland was, let's get away. So this is what we had. We had one of these for many, many years, canoe on the top, bikes on the back, picture of the front, that's me right there. What's that? Yeah. So that's what we used to drive around in. And a typical summer was we had no GPS. We had maps and newspapers. I was the navigator. Boy, this is really jumping. So this would be a typical summer route, about 10,000 miles. And we did this every summer until I was 16. So it's myself, my parents, and my two younger sisters, and a dog or two. For 6-7 weeks, every summer, we get up in the morning. Where do you want to go? Just adventurous and exploring. That's what my summers were like. I never came to San Diego. So basically, I was the navigator. I would get a newspaper, and then I would look up and see where there's a ball game or where there's something like that, and then I'd navigate to a town that had a baseball game or something. All right. So education. So growing up in Newfoundland, as I said, I wanted to get away from Newfoundland. The university in Newfoundland is a very good, well-respected university, but I didn't want to go there. So I decided I was going to study a program that wasn't offered at that university, so I had no choice but to leave. So that's how I studied chemical engineering. I didn't even know what chemical engineering was, but I'm going to be a chemical engineer because I have to leave Newfoundland to get it. I soon realized I hate chemical engineering, and then I got a business degree. So I decided to get a business degree, and then I got my MBA. So what did I look like back then? Here's a couple of pictures. So that's my college, an adult, and these are my highlights. Right? So I left Newfoundland, moved to New York City in 1989, spent most of my adult life there, two amazing boys, granddaughter, moved around a little bit, finally ended up in San Diego in 2018, married Marcia, and joined the boat club. So what did I do before I joined the boat club? Well, I was a little obsessed with checking off lists. So here are some of my stats. Been to 25 Major League Baseball stadiums, 21 NFL stadiums, 38 NHL stadiums, 5 MLS, all of these. And then I've owned 32 different cars. I've lived in 51 different addresses. I've been to 40 countries. I've flown into 150 airports, and I've been to 330 music festivals. Yeah. So I kind of gave up all of this. My contribution to this, I'm still in the same house, still driving the same car. Probably only went to 2 music festivals. But let me tell you a little bit about my career. I'm not going to go too much about it, but I actually started in food service. I worked for Sysco Foods, and the first thing I did is I put in a menu management system for the sales reps, so when they're out there selling food to restaurants, they can calculate menu costs and things like that. So that was my first job with Sysco Foods. And then I moved into pharmaceutical. I was a drug dealer for Cardinal Health. And I was responsible for inventory management, warehouse management, distribution, all of that for Cardinal Health. And then I worked for some manufacturing companies, worked for a bunch of manufacturing, supply chain management. And then I changed my mind and went into the dot-com boom in 1999, started a couple of dot-coms. And this particular one was a fundraiser for K through 12 schools. So what do we do for K through 12 schools? Bring the best of the internet to them, help them with fundraising, help teachers with their lesson plans, all of that type of stuff. From there, I then went and joined CNET Networks, the tech company, and we got bought by CBS. I spent a lot of time. Ask me stories about that. There's too much there, but that was a lot of stories. And then I left that in 2012 and went to a company called Legacy. That's the obituary company. And so it's the largest online obituary company. And I grew that from 10 to 50 million and then sold it. So that was Legacy. And then I decided to retire. And from my retirement in 2016, I then did some more startups. One of the ones I'm proudest of is I did a startup called OceanWorks to clean up the oceans with ocean plastic. How do you remove plastic from the ocean? And then I just continued on consulting, and that's what I'm doing right now for the last 3 years or so. I've been consulting with nonprofits on how they do better donations and keep track of all of their money. So anyway, all of that has led me to here. So here I am. So what does Take and Help mean for me? Well, this is not about, we're not going to go into all of the details, but there is a couple of things I do want to share. These people are saying, well, what's your vision? What are you going to do? So I put this little vision. It's actually been on the screen, so people have probably seen this already, but I'm all about the quality of the experience, right? So everyone here has a different experience. We're gonna get new microphones. So the quality of the experience is we all have a different experience. It's not about everyone having the same experience, but everybody having a quality experience. And there's some components of that I think are important to deliver on that quality experience. The first one, security. All right, security, feeling safe here. The staff feeling safe here. Your boat's being protected. Your car's being protected. All of these things. The security of your experience is important. All right. The second one is the technology. Let's see. As we talk about tech. No, it's not working. All right, this one's back. All right. So as we talk about technology, there's technology. Thank you, Walt. I appreciate it. So as we talk about technology, it's not just these microphones. There's making sure the gate is always working. Make sure that when you go to key in your membership, when you go to order a drink, they find you. All of these types of things. There's lots of things involved in the technology piece of it. The next one is entertainment. I know that was a big draw for me coming here, was the entertainment and all the things that we do for our members in that category. And then the next one is the volunteers. We have so many great volunteers. This club runs on the volunteers, so I just want to make sure volunteers are recognized and we got all the volunteers we need to do the things we want to do. And the final thing, and my responsibility, is the economics. Right, so we need to make sure that this club, I look at this as we're running a $1.5 million business. And so my job is to make sure that $1.5 million that you've entrusted me is well managed. If you can't remember any of this is what you got to do. Just remember to quote me and then you've got it. So, all right. But remember, I can't do this by myself. I can't. So to help me with all of this is we have the board of directors. So we're going to be honoring them tonight, initiating them, but special thank you, board of directors. With the board of directors, though, they also need help. Maybe I talk slower. Maybe I can't keep up. There we go. We have seven different committees that will help the board of directors, and they will run everything from governance, the rules, why we do the things we do, the bylaws, all of that, to budget, finance, speaks for itself. Facilities, if you're interested in the garden or landscaping or beautifying the place, get in the facilities, the technology, membership, events, social. These are all the high level ones, and then these committees will have subcommittees for special events or one-time things. So you might not want to be dedicated all year long, but come sign up. More about that coming up. So hopefully I have gotten your interest a little bit. So if you are curious, then I suggest you come Tuesday night to the flag meeting, because that's where we're actually going to roll out what it is we're going to do. So tonight was intro to me, celebrate the board, but the real stuff happens on Tuesday night when we go through the plan, the results, all of that type of stuff. So come out on Tuesday night to that flag meeting. And I just want to wrap up by saying I truly am honored, humbled. This is an incredible experience. I'm thrilled as to what we're going to do and what we're going to build together. So with that, I say thank you and enjoy your evening.